So good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are watching. My name is JP. Welcome to Jump on Music UK, and this is Tuesday Tunes with JP. Now, this live stream is sponsored. It's sponsored by our friends over at DistroKid, and we are hoping that obviously you are watching. So very quickly, let me just do this. There we go. Live stream is sponsored by DistroKid. DistroKid is a music distribution company. We've got a QR code that's just up there. If you scan that QR code, or if you actually click the link in the description box, you'll get 7% of your first annual membership. I have just today uploaded a track that's going to come out soon. Using DistroKid, it's never easier than ever. And we've got another track that I'm going to actually do on a live stream. I'm actually going to upload it live on a live stream. But I just want to obviously shout out to DistroKid because they use a subscription. So you just basically do it by subscription. So it's one price per year, which is $22.99. And with a link that's in the description box, it's that QR code up there. Give it a scan, and then you get 7% off your first annual membership. The other thing as well is just a quick one. We're going to bring up the QR code right now. There we go. So that QR code there. Let's move it, shall we? Let's move it. Shall we move it? There we go. So what we'll do. Oh, I didn't realize I was going to do that. Let me just take my own logo off. There we go. So basically, that's the QR code for DistroKid. Go and give it a click or give it a scan, and you'll get 7% off your first annual membership. Now, it is now April, so the spring 2024 code for all my courses, for 20% off all my courses, has gone. You can't use it anymore. However, there is still another code you can do. So if you want to get into looping, I've got this course called How to Loop Like a Pro. It's a beginner's course, an intermediate course, and there's some advanced techniques in there as well. It's normally $149, but you can get $30 off with the link, which is Loop Like a Pro, the code called Loop Like a Pro. So just want to shout that out. Obviously, give that a scan or a click, and you'll be able to get access to that for $119. So, how is everyone? All right. Hope so. There we go. Little wave there, little wave. As we do this, and let me just do this. Now, this is Tuesday Tunes with JP, but basically what I'm going to do this time around is I'm bringing back this setup, which is the Boss RC505 Mark II loop station at the top. We've got a keyboard underneath. This keyboard is the Ataria Keylab 49 Mark II. And the wonderful, the absolutely wonderful King of Synth, King of Digital. Say King of Digital, King of Synth, King of Digital. And I've had questions about this. So if you've got questions for obviously Tuesday Tunes, that's what we're here for. Ask me anything, as it says underneath. What did I have for dinner? You can ask me. But in the meantime, what we're going to do is we're going to play a little tune. And for those who are familiar with the channel, then you'll know that I do everything sort of made up on the spot. So we'll see what comes up. So, good morning, good evening, good afternoon, wherever you are. Hi, this is JP. Welcome to Jump on Music UK. This is Tuesday Tunes with JP. That's me. This is sponsored by DistroKid, who is a music distribution company. We are making tunes up on the spot, and that is basically how I loop. And I loop in a couple of different ways. We use the pedal board, we use the tabletop looper. But I brought this back out as from last week, because I had a couple of questions about how all this works. So if you have got questions, this right next to us over here, there. That is the multi-chat. We are live streaming on YouTube, on Facebook, on Twitch, and on X, Twitter. And thank you very much. And if you put something up like that, then of course I can even highlight it for you. There we go. Amazing performance. Thank you very much. It's amazing what two chords can do. There you go. So thank you. So the questions I've got basically, if you're on, and it's certainly on YouTube and also on Facebook, if you put if you comment something, it's going to come up in the multi-chat and it'll be on the live stream as well because it'll be on the screen. And this setup, I've had, as I say, a couple of questions. We're going to go into it. But if you've got any questions about looping, if you've got any questions about looping in its entirety, then please, by all means, let me know. I believe it's coming through sound-wise okay. First of all, let me know if it's loud enough, if it needs to go up a little bit. I can always sort that by pressing that button, apparently. There we go. I think it just needs to go up a little bit more. There we go. So thank you very much. So if you've got questions, then obviously ask them. Hello Facebook. So there we go. So if someone is on Facebook, then they can respond. Hello YouTube. But there we go. So let's get into this. Let's actually get into the setup. So the question that was asked was, first of all, what's the app? And these are all Audio Kit Pro that I'm using at the moment. I absolutely love them, and I think they're a fantastic set of apps. So if I actually come out of here, you hopefully can see them here. I've got it now realised that it's upside down. But the one that I mainly use is King of Digital, and I quite like using King of FM as well. There's also King of Bass. There's Saga 16-bit, and they've got loads of different ones as well. I've got like digital. I started off with actually, where is it? This one, Synth One. Synth One is completely free. If you don't want to spend any pennies, maybe you're all spent up, then Synth One is completely free. It's community-based, whereas people put patches on there, then they're just added to Synth One, and Synth One's huge. Digital D1 is really, really good as well. You've got FM Player 2, but then recently they've had King of. So they've had King of Bass, King of FM, King of... and they've got the SNES Synth, King of Digital. So King of FM is really, really nice as well. Got lots of lovely sounds there. And then if you connect, obviously, a keyboard up to it, of course, then you've got, obviously, that control, which is really, really nice. There we go. So Bernardo, hello, good evening. Hope you're well. So we can basically control this. Now, if the thing is, obviously, this is an iPad which is USB-C. It's an iPad Pro, and that is USB-C. This is USB-B, the keyboard, and also it's also the if I plug that into that, then how on earth are you going to hear it? So the way this works is this actually goes into USB-C to USB-B into the actual looper here. So it actually goes into the looper, and I'm using the looper as a through. I hope that makes sense. So the actual keyboard is powered up. It's powered up by plugged into the wall with a power adapter, and then it's I've got a foot switch obviously for sustain, and then it's just a normal MIDI cable. Now, hopefully you can just see that there, maybe just out of shot there. Let me just turn that around. Really professional. There we go. And that's MIDI in. It's MIDI out of the keyboard, MIDI in, the traditional MIDI, and then we've got the, that's going into here as well. So the iPad and the and the keyboard are both going in. So that's going in by USB-B, and this is going in by MIDI. And then basically what I've done is I've told these two to be on MIDI channel 2 only. So this, you can actually go settings, MIDI channel 2, and then this I've actually set onto MIDI channel 2 by pressing MIDI channel and then pressing number 2 down here, which you again can't see. And then this means that only on MIDI channel 2, but the looper can accept any channel. So what that means is if this was on MIDI channel 1 and I moved like the modulation wheel, it would actually affect the looper. But I've told it not to, because I've decided only be on MIDI channel 1, and this is on MIDI channel 2. I hope that makes sense. So then basically I'm using the looper as a throughput. So then as I play, it's only coming through. And then the great thing is actually on here, on the menu system here, you actually have a USB level input. So I've got that set around 40. And then that way you can actually hear it. So and there we go. Best name on YouTube. Don't apologize. Be who you are. But I can give you advice on how to change it if you need to. know some of you asked about my effects that I use on here. We'll get to that in a minute. So, very good question. I've got a couple of questions coming in now. That's good. That's what we want. This is Tuesday Tunes with JP, sponsored by DistroKid. DistroKid is a music distribution company. So if you've got music, you want to play it out there, you can even do a live stream and then put the music out there from the live stream. Then basically, you need to use DistroKid. So DistroKid is a music distribution company. You can actually pay them a subscription. It's $22.99. And then obviously with the QR code, which is that one, it's been there the whole time. Then give it a scan. That helps out me and the channel and keeps the channel alive, but also it helps you out. It gives you 7% of your first annual membership. So thank you very much to DistroKid for sponsoring this live stream. If you want to learn how to loop like I do, if you want to learn to loop with me, then of course you can obviously pay for me to be on a Zoom call. It's actually obviously quite a bit of cash, but then also the alternative is you can buy my How to Loop Like a Pro course. We go right from the very beginning to some really advanced setups. And as of 2 days ago, you were able to get 20% off all my courses, but that went. So this is the only one with the course. Sorry, let me start again. It's the only course with a code left, which is Loop Like a Pro. So it's normally $149. You can get it for $119. Scan the QR code, go to johnpaulmusic.co.uk, and then have a look at the courses there, and just put Loop Like a Pro in, and then you'll get it for $119. And that course is going to grow, by the way. I have decided. I have spoken. So if you know the phrase, then you know the phrase. Right, so let's get into some questions. I was quite liking that tune, actually. I might go back and have a listen to it. But for the moment, it's deleted. By the way, I delete all the recording. I delete all the loops. I don't save them when I do this. However, I might go back onto the live stream later on and have a listen and maybe see if I can do it. That's not the month. Could you make a Zen Beats configuration video for live looping? Maybe. Yeah, why not? Zen Beats. I need to research Zen Beats a bit more and go deeper into Zen Beats. Sorry, like go deeper into Zen Beats and do it that way. By the way, yeah, don't ever apologize. That's fine. I'm all for it. It's all good. It's no problem at all. Because it's going to come up again. How is your audio routing? Now that's a very good question. Hang on a second. It's about time I have a drink, don't you think? I thought for a second then, Bernardo, I thought that said poor favor. You're saying por favor, correct? Por favor. Please don't be offended by my accents and my attempts at accents. Oh. We'll get into that later. So, yes, how is my audio being routed? That's a very good question. Right now, it's incredibly simple. So right now, I'm using a system which is called ReStream. If you have a look in the description box, I've got how I can help you, and all my courses are there, and you've got DistroKid there as well. Underneath that, there is another code which is for ReStream. I actually use a system called ReStream Studio. I used to use OBS, and I've done videos on OBS. I've played around with Ecamm. I've played around with, what's the other one, Prism and everything else. And I've StreamYard, because I know some of the people who use StreamYard, and I asked them about it, and it's really cool. I've settled on ReStream, because ReStream now have ReStream Studio, which is this. What you're seeing is ReStream Studio, and you can get this for free. I'm actually using the Pro version, where it takes the ReStream kind of logo off, and I can replace it with my own. However, you can do this for free, and it's amazing, and it's basically just a Chrome browser. It's a browser-based streamer, and the great thing about that is it takes off all the CPU load off your computer. I've got a pretty fast computer anyway, but it means that you don't have to worry about that, which is really, really cool. I'm not using Streamlabs. I'm using ReStream, just so you know. So from that point, the reason why I'm telling you about this is because plugged into my computer is my Arturia, and yes, I do love Arturia stuff, AudioFuse Studio, which is basically my big audio interface. And then I've literally, as you can see here, hopefully you can just see that in shot there, I've literally got a pair of jacks from the main going out into channel 1, channel 2, and in the software I've just panned channel 1 and channel 2 left and right. It is as simple as that. Now, because the reason I'm doing that is because I could do it by USB, but the USB is actually being taken up by the iPad. The iPad's being plugged in by USB, and I don't really want to start messing around with hubs and all that kind of stuff. The other USB that's been taken up is that camera. So that camera's taken one, that camera's taken one, and then so my USBs, and I've got a monitor which is taken up another USB. So that's the 3 USBs on my Mac taken up. I've got a hub plugged in for the audio fuse, and that's basically it. So that is how my audio is being routed. So I've got the USB coming in around about, let's have a look, what's it say on the USB input? The input level is at 40. This is just on about 11 o'clock. And then my audio interface is actually quite down quite a bit. And I can change the audio on ReStream Studio. So if you want to have a look at ReStream Studio, click the link that's in the description box as well. It's not sponsored by them, but it's sponsored by DistroKid. But click the link on there, and you actually, I think you get $10 of ReStream credit if you want to use it, which is quite cool. So if you want to do that, that's quite cool. I figured out to change the name. Your mom. 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 That's fun, yeah. I'm glad you're able to change it. If that's what you want to do, you be you. It's all good. Going from fuck bitches to your mom. Fair enough. How much is the Zoom chat? So, if you want to book me for coaching, you're more than welcome to do so. 90 minutes is $199 it is now. It went up last year. And you can book me for 6 as well, and you get, I think, 10% off. So if you want to book me for a Zoom call, I record the call for you, so you can watch it on the replay or however you want to. And of course, we can do anything from live streaming advice right through to looping advice, right through to how to set up, no problem at all, right through to how to do YouTube videos if you really want to from me. By the way, just a little tidbit for you, I don't edit my YouTube videos on a Mac. I edit it all on an iPad, and I have done since 2019. So there you go. So I've not very, very rarely, I think maybe twice, edited it on the Mac. I've edited it on the iPad, and so the whole channel actually proceeds from an iPad, which is amazing. I've got a Mac, but the Mac is mainly for being a music studio thing, so I don't really put video stuff on there. Por favor. You're welcome, no problem at all. Lots of thumbs up. That's great. So do you say the D in this? I don't think you do. Do you go salut? Salut? Just salut? Salute? 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 I don't know. You can tell me. Let me know in the chat. Oh, the chat's expanded. Oh, all of a sudden. Blah, 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 blah. Do not use Streamlabs. They ripped off the OBS code. Okay. I've also noticed there's a couple of them there's a couple of new ones come out that are very OBS-ish, but just have different skins on, which is interesting. Some people are like, try this, you must try this. And I'm like, it just looks like OBS. But limited. You might as well just use OBS and get what you want. So there we go. TL, I've been thinking of getting a drum pedal. Ooh, like a Beat Buddy. Like, not for everything, but it's hard to do percussion on electric guitar. So, yes, you mean me doing the rhythmic strumming. Yeah, it is harder on electric guitar because it just doesn't have that sound, does it? So yeah, no idea why I said this. It's kind of random. Okay. That's fine. We like random. It's cool. So can anyone advise TL on basically a drum pedal? I mean, the Beat Buddy is the Beat Buddy. I mean, the Beat Buddy's kind of like almost become pretty much standard now. And I've never had one. I've never had a Beat Buddy ever. Maybe I should reach out to Singular Sound and we should get one and actually pair it up, because I don't really use the rhythm sections of things like the RC600. The alternative you could do, instead of getting a Beat Buddy, is you could actually just, if you've got things like an RC505 Mark II or an RC600, you've got, you know, sort of, yeah. You've got your beats there. And then what you can also do as well is there's 4 different versions of beats in each beat, and you can change the kit, and you can have rhythms and everything else, and you can make your own. Now, I was doing actually videos about the RC rhythm converter for the 505 and the 600 Mark II, and then all you need is a pedal to stop it, and a pedal to stop and start it, and a pedal to change the rhythms and go from A to B to C to D, whatever you're going to do. So you could do that if you've got things like a 505 or a 600 already. If you haven't, then of course, and you're looking for an independent beat maker, yeah, something like that. The other thing, a lot of loop artists use, they want to create the beats themselves, so they want to use things like a hand sonic, you know, so things like that are quite cool. So I actually use the Synodo tempo pad because you can play the sounds of these. In fact, there you go. So I've got pads just here, just literally under there. Hope you can see that. Sorry, I hit the key at the same time. And you can actually tell the 505 and the 600 to let those rhythm sounds be in a loop. I don't know if I've actually got it. So we go. You can hear me bashing the keyboard. Hang on. Ugh, it's actually at an angle. I didn't realise that. There we go. That's quite difficult to do. Let me do it from this side. Oh, it's there. Now, the one thing you've got to be aware of with things like that is just obviously phasing. So if you play on bar 1, beat 1 twice, you're going to get like weird noise. But you can do things like that. So if you've got a drum pad, or if you've got a keyboard that's got a pad attached to it. So the keys on this keyboard are actually on channel MIDI channel 2. The pads are on MIDI channel 1. And this is on MIDI channel 1. If they were both on MIDI channel 1 and I press this, you'd hear the drums, but you'd hear the lowest notes of that as well, which I don't want. So by separating them, you can do some really cool things. So yeah, you could do things like that. So if you wanted a crash kind of like as it comes in, like the chorus comes in, you can just add it in manually. But yeah, so of course, it's totally dependent on what you want. So of course, if you want something like a Beat Buddy, it's a great question. I know you said, oh, I don't know why I put it here. It's kind of random, but it's not, because loads of people ask about the Beat Buddy. And it's one of these things where you can either, depending on the looper that you've got, you can either obviously have the Beat Buddy be the main tempo, and then the looper follows, or you can have it where you create a loop and then the beat buddy follows. I have to be very careful to how I say follows and main and things like that these days. So you don't want to say certain words. So you need to make sure which one is the main and which one is the secondary one. So you can obviously use that, no problem at all. Very good question. Don't you have the Gigcaster for Live? I certainly do. In fact, it's over there at the moment. And the reason why I'm not using it is because I was actually doing some recording today in the studio, and we were just finishing off one of the tunes, and I didn't actually have time to switch things out. That's the problem actually with doing sort of like YouTube as well as trying to be a little sort of home studio, is you keep switching stuff out all the time. So the Gigcaster is actually here sitting on a little plinth just out of shot. Poor thing's just going, why are you using me? But yeah, so it's and the great thing about the Gigcaster, of course, is I could record to SD card as well as live stream. So then, of course, if you wanted the audio back afterwards, you could do that. Now, the great thing is we actually did that, and I've said this many times on a live stream. We did a live stream which was called Loop in My Brain, which is this one, and Loop in My Brain, and we ended up with this, which basically is an album. So I did a live album, and it was all done on a live stream. These are the tracks. We did way more than that, and I just picked the best ones out. Now, the problem was the audio did have a little bit of blips and blops because of dropouts from the live stream. Had I had the Gigcaster at the time, I would have had a perfect rendition of it, which would have been a lot better. So, yes, to answer the question, is I would normally use the Gigcaster. And then what I would do is, obviously, the out of the Gigcaster would go out to here. The nice thing about that is you've got like the pads to put applause in and silly noises if you wanted to do it a bit like a show. But at the same time, it's recording everything, which is great because you've got an actual 32-bit float recording of what you've just made, which is really, really good. Why would you even say it in the first place? You cannot. I think they're messing around. That's all good. Have a look at the Roland SPT. Yeah, I have. Yeah, I've seen them. These are the foot things, aren't they? These are little like little electro pads that you can. You're talking about the ones that they're like a drum stomp thing. Yeah, I've seen them. They're quite cool. They are quite cool. A drum paddle would have to be a whole separate, so it doesn't get looped. But that depends on the workflow and stuff. It does, but the thing is, like, actually, to answer that question, like, if you're saying, like, you want a drum pedal, that drum pedal, the output of that, the MIDI can be connected to the looper, but the output can be completely separate. Excuse me. So you could actually put it into the looper as an input and then send it back out again in one of the subs completely separately, and it doesn't get looped. So you just tell the channels, don't listen to that input. And you've got two inputs there, input, left and right, or, the mic one. That's on the 500. That's on the 505 Mark II and the 600. If you're using a different looper, then of course, you're gonna have to change your workflow or look at some kind of mixer, like a Gigcaster. So you'd have to plug it in and then mix it independently. But as long as you've got the drum level roughly right, which a lot of people do, they plug it in, and they don't loop the drums. They're just literally like using it to, play drums as a drummer, and that's it. So yeah, absolutely. I got the Akai Amp Mini, great pads, could use that. You could use that, absolutely. I've done a video on this, so if you actually have a look at the Synodo Tempo pad, and there's a picture of me saying how, and there's the actual original one as well. No, it wasn't the how one, that was how to actually program it. The other video was the first video of the Synodo Tempo pad, which was play drums, like play the drums through the thing, and I used the 600, and you can do it on the 500 as well. which is really cool. So yeah, so you could use that, and absolutely that way you're not spending an absolute fortune. So there we go. I'm just use Ableton for the drum samples. You could use Ableton for some drum samples. The alternative you could do is you've got 99 memories. You could actually have each song as a memory and have your drums fully in. There's an hour and a half recording limitation per track. So you know, if it's a 4-minute track with the drums in, you've got a backing track of drums straight away, and it's doing exactly what you want. You make your drums in Ableton, bring the whole thing out as a whole track, make sure the tempo is the correct tempo so you can still loop over the top of it. There you go. You've got basically a drummer that's doing exactly what you want. No problem at all. Congrats from Brazil. Hello, Brazil. Brazil. Lovely. Nice. I think time for a tune, don't you? Now, at the moment, I am... Which one am I using right now? I'm using King of FM. Let me just get rid of all these. There we go. YouTube. Let's get rid of YouTube. Don't need YouTube, do we? Hey? And I'm going to go through. So there's loads of different packs in this, and one of the packs is Da Fingers. And I did this the other a couple of live streams ago, where I just made a tune just out of the GarageBand guide. Patrick's patch. I'm going to do this with the fingers, and we're going to actually see what we can come up with. And then after that, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go through the effects that people were asking. That was the other question. People like, how are you getting this kind of effect? How are you getting this kind of effect? So I'll go through that in a minute. Oh, is that a synth you got? So the iPad is the synth. And I'm just using a MIDI controller, which is an Arturia Keylab, to play it. So if you're interested in... These are Audio Kit Pro synth apps. They've got loads of different sounds. So yeah, so check them out. They're really, really cool. One of those synth pads has sounded like Black. It's a Wonderful Life. Oh, really? Was that one? Mercedes, please call the yellow telephone. Just being an idiot now, aren't I? Right, okay, before we carry on, what is a MIDI controller? I only play analog and record via analog. A MIDI controller, this keyboard is a MIDI controller, and what it does is it basically has no sounds of its own, and it is sending MIDI information to the iPad to say what note to play and when. So by doing that, I have one keyboard and thousands of sounds. Now I know with a synthesizer you also have that as well. But the fact is that with a good keyboard bed like the Arturia Keylab, if you want to have a look at it, I've done videos on Arturia stuff. The Keylab 49 Mark II. I've done the Keylab Essentials 49 Mark III. And the Essential obviously is basically very, very good. Is it a downgraded... No, not necessarily. It basically, essentially, a keyboard, in the sense of a keyboard, is that I can control any synthesizer with this via MIDI or via CC. So this has got an amazing keyboard bed on it. It's the same keyboard bed they use on the Brute, which is around about $3,000, which is a synthesizer. But I've got the advantage that I've got actually transport controls and all kinds of controls up here that you can't see, where I can control my digital audio workstation whilst also controlling synthesizers. So it's a mixture of the two. So let me just move it this way a little bit. There we go, if you can see that. and I've got play, record, pause, auto punch, undo, write, read, mute, replace, save, solo. That all works on Logic. So I don't need to actually control Logic with a mouse. I can, of course I will. And then I've got all these as well. So I've got all these faders. I've got faders and control dials that are all programmable. So yeah, absolutely fab in that respect. Am I excited for MIDI 2.0? Yeah. I am actually, because the thing is, it's one of these things where MIDI's not really changed, has it, in like sort of 30 years? It really needs to change and just come up with the times. No, you don't need an iPad to get the sounds. We can plug, obviously, a MIDI keyboard into any digital audio workstation. And therefore, you can play the sounds that are built into that digital audio workstation. So imagine having access to thousands of synthesizers with... You don't have to have this keyboard. You can have a different keyboard. There's lots of different MIDI. Just Google MIDI keyboards, and you can obviously do that. Do exist some patches who can use MacBook Pro directly? So yes, absolutely. You can do, absolutely. They're coming in thick and fast now. Hi, JP. So is OBS no good? Absolutely, it is amazing. It's amazing. So OBS is a blank template. The downside of OBS is there is a learning curve, and you have to learn how to use it. You have to learn how to put everything in, put your audio sources in, put your video sources in. A lot of new, since the pandemic, or as Jade Star and Pete Johns say, the global interruption. Since then, there has been lots of different companies come out with programs to make it easier. Now, I could actually sit there for an hour or two and build a load of things, but you see the way this is on the side here. I could obviously change the way this looks. Hi. I could move this around. We could put one bigger than the other. Let me just swap that over. And I'm doing this all on Chrome. I'm doing this all on a Chrome browser, basically. And what's really clever about it is, let me just swap it the right way around. There we go. I don't really have to do anything. I just have to go, right, I want that there, and I want that there, and I want that there. There are limitations. I can't put, like, the top where I am onto the left-hand side ever so slightly, because that's the way they work it. But the fact is that I just log in on Chrome and then I don't have to think about it. I've actually got a setup. I've set this up in a certain way. Whereas with OBS, the beauty of OBS, and it is the beauty, is you can do anything. You can do absolutely anything. This is why most gamers still use OBS for live streaming, because you can add things on. Now, the downside at the right now, if I was to take this camera away, this bottom one, right, I'll just do that right now. I can't, at the moment, until they change it in software, or if they're going to change it, I can't make my face full screen unless I take the chat away. However, in a different program that I've been trialing, you can have me full screen and the chat overlays over the top of my picture, which is actually what I want. But I can't do that in this one. That is a limitation of that. So with OBS, I could very easily do that. The reason why I use this is because it doesn't load the computer up with... It's got to process all that video, then send it out. So I used to use... basically, no. I've just seen that comment. Funny as what. The OBS basically then has to do all that video processing and then send it out. Whereas actually, I'm just telling it all to send through to Chrome, and Chrome deals with it. So therefore, it does offload all this. Like for example, I'm not Rob Fripp. Even before that, I have a video about that, and I know basically about way before Rob Fripp. For example, let me just showcase something. Now, I don't normally use this, but let's do this. So that'll just go on around like in the background, which is quite distracting, I think, personally, but there we go. Let's have another one. Let's change it over to this. Whilst I'm live streaming, and I don't have to do a thing, which is quite nice. You guys are still in the chat there. It's still overlaid nicely to a point, and then obviously the one I did use for a little while was this one, which is quite nice. It's very subtle moving. looks digital, but I actually quite prefer just this one now, the static one. So all of this is just pre-made. I can put my own background on there if I want to on the Pro version, which is what I've got. For example, I could do this. And that is my own background that I've made myself with my own hands. And I can put things over the top like I've done before. Like you've just seen me do, I've done one where it's that. Basically, this live stream is sponsored by DistroKid. Thank you very much to DistroKid for sponsoring this live stream. I can put QR codes up. So all of that is available on all these different web-based browsing streaming sites. ReStream originally was just a service that let you stream to more than one place at the same time. Move on 4 or 5 years, and there's all these different places do it now anyway. So the software I'm using, it's free to begin with. Absolutely, it's free, and it's called ReStream. If you go to the description box on YouTube right now, go to the description box below this video, below this live stream, just click more. You'll see all the things where it says how I can help you. Underneath the courses, you'll see DistroKid, and you'll also see ReStream. ReStream is, click that link, and that is ReStream. What I'm using is ReStream Studio, and there is a free version. There are some limitations to that. And I've just realised I've lost my my background picture. Hang on. There we go. That's nicer. So yeah, so you can actually use ReStream Studio completely free. You just need a Chrome browser, a camera, an audio interface if you're a musician, and obviously whatever you're plugging into it. Now, do people want me to go over the effects? Because people were asking me in the last live stream about effects. Do you know the history of the looping pedal? Yes, came from a delay pedal originally. Well, actually came from tape. In my course, actually, that's a very good segue. In my course, see what you've done. You've done this now. In my course, which is called How to Loop Like a Pro, there is actually a history lesson inside that course about where looping came from. And yes, I did sit there for about 3 to 4 weeks actually researching it all to make sure it was accurate. So yes, I do. Not just the old. Coming up at the shape of you. Coming up at the shape of you. But basically, I've done a little bit of research on it. So yes. So yeah, there we go. You're welcome. No problem at all. So this is obviously Tuesday Tunes, obviously where we talk about tunes and looping and everything else. But ask me anything you like. So this is ReStream. There's loads of other ones out there. There's Ecamm Live. There's this other one called Prism. There's StreamYard. You'll see other people use. I was nearly tempted to go over to StreamYard, but ReStream for me works for me. It works for what I want it to do. I could put background music on if I wanted to, so we could add a little bit of background music while I'm not playing, you know, so let's do that now. Let's put some background music on. There you go. Add that in. Very nice. There we go. So we can load that down a bit. There we go. So we've got some background music while we're chatting away here. Now, of course, obviously, downside of that is I need to stop it now if I'm going to play a tune. But I can do that. And I'll do a video. In fact, I've done a video about ReStream already, but it's changed since that video. Maybe it's high time I do a new one and how I live stream. So there we go. I'm American, but I aspire to be Irish. Okay, good. In what aspect of Irish does it appeal to you? Of course, there is also Irish American, so you know you could always go with that. So yeah, so of course, you're welcome, no problem at all. So basically, you know, with ReStream, it works for me. There's loads of different ones out there. So it depends on what you need. But all I would say is find the one that's right for you. Just like I say with any looper, find the one that's right for you. This works for me. And the great thing is I started with it completely free. And then they brought in this thing called ReStream Studio. So I used to use OBS. I still use OBS for certain things. And then basically then feed that into this. But now, because they've got their own like browser for streaming, then I don't need. I was like, why do I need OBS if this does everything I need it to do? So there we go. That's the answer. And then it just takes that one thing away. I'd like simplicity. So there we go. I wish I was Irish. Ireland people are cooler.
be one. American spy. I wish I was Irish now. I can live happily ever after. I know tell me now that I don't understand the frown. Have a little Guinness, take off the steam, 'cause I know where I want to be. I wanna be an island. I wanna be an island, yeah. I wanna be an island. I wanna be an island.
There you go. There you go. Little island track. So good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you're from. We're an hour in. This is JP. Welcome to Jump on Music UK. This is Tuesday Tunes, and that tune is Deleted. Oh, sorry. We're going to get into the effects on the 505 and what I use to make all these little tunes and ditties and things like that. Oh, look at this. We've got people who are, there you go. So, your mom, actually a producer rapper, basically a less cool version of Kanye. And Lika, there you go. I'm rapper and produce some songs and bands here in my state. Why don't you guys get in contact with each other and make an album and release it on DistroKid? This live stream is sponsored. It's sponsored by our friends over at DistroKid, who are a music distribution company. If you've got tunes, or if your mom and I'm making sure I say that right, Likio Gomez and Solo, then basically if you two get together and make some tunes, you can even do splits with DistroKid. So you can split the music, split the royalties between the two of you. DistroKid are a music distribution company, so if you've got songs you want to put them out there to all the different streaming sites, they can help you. You can even choose not to put it on a certain streaming site if you don't like that streaming site. There are streaming sites all around the world, ones I don't even know about. So there's over 170 different streaming sites around the world, and of course you can put your music onto there. You may find that your music takes off on a planet that you don't even realize is there. And yeah, basically most music distributors charge you per release. In fact, one other music distributor who is has basically started copying DistroKid and now doing subscription, so unlimited uploads. These guys have been doing it for years, and you can upload as much as you want to. I could take this live stream, cut out all the blah blah blah, and release that as an album, and it won't cost me any extra than it already does. So it costs $22.99. I'm actually on the Musicians Plus one, which is $39.99, and that gives me two different outfits. So then basically, then I've got me as John Paul, and then there's me and Greg, my mate Greg, as Tokyo Wasteland, and we release music together. So scan the QR code, which has been up there the whole time, up there, and that one as well, and then you get 7% of your first annual membership. That helps me out, helps the channel out if you're scanning the QR code. Thank you very much, and thank you to DistroKid for sponsoring this live stream. If you are looking to make beats, for example, looping is a great way to do that. If you want to make, just like figure out, does that work with this? Does this work with that? So yeah, obviously, there we go. Song, very cool. Is it yours? It's yours? Yes. Well, everything, if you've never been on my live streams before, everything I'm making right now. It's just popping into my head right now. It's looping my brain, and we're making it right now. I'll prove it to you. Write something in the chat, and we'll make a song out of it. While you're doing that, there we go. Make a song about, so hang on a minute. I'm not going to make a song about a specific company. Make a song about something. I only ask them. Hang on. Yes, 35 miles of lead. I'm not going to bring that up because this is sponsored by DistroKid, but basically TC, if you know who TC are, yes, lots of promotion with them at the moment. Why do I promote so much? Mainly because basically it's the live stream is promoted by basically DistroKid, so they are sponsoring this live stream. So of course, if I don't say it every sort of 20 or 30 minutes, then you might forget. You might forget to scan that QR code up there. It wouldn't be the same if it didn't, but there we go. So we are making songs up on the spot. How about that's very dark.
promote so much? Is it really wrong? Can you feel the sweat, my friend? Can you feel the love? Going by a woman on the underground. No, I don't know how much it cost me, because I only have £3. I don't know why I'm singing this song. The cost of living is getting me down.
Hi. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, where you're listening from, hearing from, watching from, straining your eyes from. My name is JP. Welcome to Jump On Music UK. This is Tuesday Tunes with JP, sponsored by DistroKid. Hi. How are we? Are we okay? So, the reason why I've actually got this set up, does that make sense? Is because I got a couple of questions about this when I did this last time. I was like, how does it all work? How does it all kick through? Oh, thanks very much. I'm really happy you said that. Nice one. Did you hear the little bit of cost of living right at the very end? I hope I caught that in you. And then need to go. Oh, but it's probably gone already. But that's okay. And so, friends, I need to go. Good vibes, and we could see you soon. See ya. I hope you guys and you. This sounds really weird. Your mum are going to get in contact and make some cool beats. And by the way, that is deleted. So with the RC505 Mark II, it is Mark II, by the way. If you see anyone online wherever say MK2, just give them a because it's Mark II. It's the Mark II. It's not an MK2. It's not 10x like 10x. It's 10 times. Things like that really annoy me. Anyway, it's the Mark II, the 5 Mark II, and you have input effects and track effects. So you have input effects here. And you have track effects. Who's Paul? I wonder who that is. So it's half my name. And then you got input effects and track effects, and you've got 4 banks. And I only use 1 bank for this kind of live stream setup. So what I do is I've actually got track A, input effect A. This is an LPF, so a low pass filter. So as you move this dial here, there's a dial here, if you can see that. As you move it, you can affect the amount. And what it's actually doing is it's affecting the cutoff. So right now at 100%, you're not going to hear it. But if I go, really, really cool. So what you can do is, if you're doing stuff in time, so we go. What you'll find me doing with that LPF, just whisper nothings into it and which is actually like it's all right. I'm only messing. Don't worry. It's okay. I've got both the name John and Paul. I like to say I've got an estranged brother called George Ringo. Moving on. So that first one here is an LPF. The next one is the one most people are like, oh my God, how'd you do that? Which is a bass. And it's actually on the, I use this both on the RC600 and the 505 Mark II, which is a guitar to bass, and then the balance is 100%. And if for those who are interested, it's on mode 2. You'll notice I'll play some noises from here, but I'll mainly sing my basses because I'm quite okay with my harmonies. Good question. Does the Mark II, the RC5 Mark II, feature an input through switch like the 606? An input through switch? Yes. So you can have the input go through, and you mean bypass it, like the 600? You mean, or did you just get too excited and put 606? Is that a new model I'm not aware of? Yeah, it does have an input through, absolutely. So you can have input through. That's how you've got that noise going through. Ooh, that sounded like a game show. What's that sound like? That's completely like OCD's like all gone onto this now. Catchphrase. It sounds like catchphrase. Oh, love that. I'm going to use that. Anyway, this sound. This is the G to B. This is the guitar to bass effect on the inputs on mode number 2.
This is mode number 2. This is mode number 1. This is mode number 2. This is mode number 1.
So it depends on what you're using. For my voice, I think, listen to it back, I think basically mode 2 is a little bit better. And then I have it on 100%. It's as simple as that. And I use exactly the same on the RC600. It's exactly the same effect. The third one is a radio effect. And what this does, the dial actually changes what radio, what the lo-fi is doing. So
You've heard me singing this when singing through this.
So you can have it like this, so it's like distorted radio. Yeah.
But I much prefer it like sort of like, you know, like a small EQ.
It's quite nice. So that's a radio effect. That's on C, and then finally on D is our reverb. Now, the reverb is actually set at 3.4 seconds. However, what's happening here is what I'm doing when I move this dial is it's actually changing the effect level. So it's not changing the how much delay it is or how much reverb it is. It's not changing how many seconds it is. It's just telling you basically the effect level. So from nothing right through to the mix of 100. So right now it's at 100. It's still 3.4 seconds. But if I have it here, it's still the same. It's still 3. But it's the amount of the effect. Okay, this is really useful for. And when you're doing stuff, you can combine things, so we can have all 4 effects on at the same time. So the last track I just did, that track about, you know, the cost of living and Burger King in London. That might be the name of this live stream for all I know. Then basically I can have these on at the same time. So
if I put the radio effect on and I turn it to where I want, then I put this one on, you may notice, if you can just see there, I'll just turn that back a little bit. You may see there, that is purple, this is red. Might not be able to see that on the live stream. But then basically that's purple, that's red. So,
very quickly you can make noises, which is really, really cool. Too much coffee making double inputs on keys. 606. You meant the 600. I know. It's all good. So yeah, so basically that is my input effects. Now I have been using the track effects. So to split this up for you, input effects affect the inputs, but I've only told it to affect the microphone, not the keyboard. That is so catchphrase. I need to change that noise. Oh, Patrick, what have you done to me? There's a really cool noise on this, and it goes din 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 din. There it is. So cool. I made a loop out of that last time. I'm not doing it again because I keep using the same loop. I mean, in fact, what I'm going to do is I'm going to kill off King of FM, and then what we're going to do is we're going to go into king of digital. So yeah, basically, so I've used the input effects and I've got the track effects. So the input effects affect the input. Now, the only physical input on this is this microphone. By the way, this is the Aston Origin microphone, which I love, by the way. I love the Aston mics. I like Arturia stuff. You know, you get to your favourites and stuff like that. And it's a 48 volts phantom power microphone. So therefore, you need to have phantom power on, which I've got right here. And then let's go into here. I've got some favorites in here, which the one that if you've been on my live streams before, you would have heard this noise. It's lovely. So if I had some track effects affect the tracks, and they only affect the loops themselves. They don't affect the input. So, for example, I'm going to put this effect on, the input effect. We're going to go step by step here. So I'm going to go, and I've turned it to about 1 o'clock. So, now I've actually got the looper set up for record, overdub, and play. When you get the looper out of the box, it's record, play, overdub. But I actually find it much quicker to actually go record and then straight into overdub. This is what the Sheeran loopers do. They're like that by default. But I actually changed it over so it's like that because I can build up a track real quick. So, for example, I can have a hi-hat in, a kick and a snare, and a weird noise to make a beat real quick. So watch this. So there, what I've done is I've actually used the reverb, and then for the that's what it sounds like without anything. And apparently I do snares beatboxing wrong. So I breathe in and I go. So there we go. Anyway, so there we go, and then I put the radio effect on. And then you just use the bass. And you'll end up with. Now what I can do is, I can do a step slicer on here, which I've got. Let's just turn it over. So you can use things like that. And then with this one, I've got step slicer. With this one, this is an auto pan. So sometimes you'll hear the bass moving between left and right. Hopefully you can hear that anyway. So. So now you should hear the bass moving, swaying left and right. The track effects, this one is an auto pan, but only for track 2. This is one of my songs.
As the riverbanks lose their fight, Compton's hammer over to pick up the poor and the posh, as the country watches the horror, as the cars
They're facing fear and anguish. People feel there is no hope. The lower bridge is lost, my friend. Look up and we'll throw you the rope. Cause I harbor day and night. The wind will test those fishing boats and feel the lonely might. The river slows its pace now and reveals the damage done. No eyes have been sacrificed, only bricks and mortar gone. Yeah. Storms will come and storms will go, and the skies are plain to see. This quiet and peaceful village just keeps amazing me. Don't let this one event wash away the cobwebs of men. Close your eyes, sleep well tonight. By this castle you will live again. Like a big, big picture, like a sandstorm, like a seagull flying through the harbor. With looking outside, she doesn't look back. By this castle you will live again. Like a big, big picture through a sandstorm, like a seagull flying through the harbor. With looking outside, she doesn't look back. By this castle you will live again. By this castle you will live again. Bus castle, 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 you will punch through a sandstorm. Bus seagull flying through the harbor. Bus castle, in the sand, she doesn't look back. Bus castle, you will live again. Bus big wind punching through a sandstorm. Bus seagull flying through the harbor. Bus castle, in the sand, she doesn't look back. Bus castle, you will live again. 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 That is my song called Boss Castle, if you want to go and check it out. And there we go. Tainted Saint. Have they got in contact with you yet? I hope they have. Let me know. Let me know if Synodo got in contact with you. If you don't know, then we played a wonderful game where basically people put their name in a hat to win. In fact, here it is. One of these that I'm holding incorrectly. Which is the Synodo Tempo Key. And we whittled everyone down to just one person. And the wonderful Tainted Sean basically won, which was really nice because you're on the live stream at the time. So I found that really lovely. It's great. I'll make sure they get in contact with you. Where are you located, GP? The US or the UK? My name is John Paul. I make music and I live in the UK. So even though I'm live streaming, where are we? 10:30. Yeah, I live in the UK, just outside of Liverpool, a place called the Wirral. Well, it's actually called Wirral. Everyone just calls it the Wirral. So in between Liverpool and Wales, there's a peninsula which is called Wirral, the Pleasure Peninsula. Joking. Basically, I live there. So I live in the northwest of the UK, the northwest upon the Terre. So there we go. So that's where I live. Where do you live? Put it in the chat. That'd be quite interesting. So yes, so we've got people from all over the place. We had people from Norway last, and then also now we had Mexico, and we've had lots of different people from all different places. US, of course, which is great. And then at this time, depending on what time and when he's had his breakfast, if Australia Ray, who lives in Australia, funnily enough, also sometimes dips in. So we have people from all over the world. Now, just to show, you can make a loop out of anything. Ah, lovely Kent. You're in the UK! Well, hello. We know the royal family, don't you know? Seriously, I don't. So good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you're listening from in the world, or maybe we're transmitting into outer space. Who knows? This is JP. Welcome to Jump on Music UK. This live stream is sponsored. It's sponsored by our friends over at DistroKid. That QR code has been there the entire time. Scan it. It gives you 7% off your first annual membership with DistroKid, who are a music distribution company. If you've got music you want to put them out there, say I just took that song right now and I just put it out there, I could. It wouldn't cost me any extra because it's a subscription. You pay $22 and 99 cents, a year, and then with the link you can get your first 7% off your first annual membership with DistroKid. So thank you very much to DistroKid for sponsoring this live stream. In fact, we'll just make the QR code bigger. Why don't we? There we go. So for $21.38 in dollars, which, you know, for the UK market, it's about £16. I mean, how much did the synthesizer cost you? How much did the microphone cost you? How much is it going to cost you to distribute an entire year's worth of music? There you go. So thank you very much to DistroKid for sponsoring this live stream. If you want to get into looping, you want to learn from me, of course, I do private tutorial, which you can do. But you can also actually get my course, which is called How to Loop Like a Pro. We go right from the very beginning to some really advanced setups. And then at the moment, it's $30 off. So it's $149 normally. And with the words Loop Like a Pro, all as one, you'll get it for $119. I've just had a very good question put in the CHAT, which is, of all, I need to put some effects on that, of all you have, what's your favourite and which one do you use the most? Oh, you see now, that's very difficult. So it depends. Basically, my go-to looper, like at the moment, is the Boss RC600. Now that's because that's the looper I know the most. Okay, so if I'm doing a gig, like I'm going out with a guitar, and then the loop pedal, that's it. It's the RC600, the Boss RC600. For now, I say for now because obviously there's always change, and we'll see what happens in the future. But for now, that is the mainstay. That is the one that is sticking around. It's just there. I'm pointing in the other camera, just down there. In fact, if I open this, it's in there. There it is, hiding away. So if I was doing a gig where I'm playing, I don't know, covers or my own stuff, my stuff is predominantly being evolved around guitar playing. However, I'm actually a keyboard piano player by trade. First and foremost, grade 5 theory, don't you know? And for doing this stuff and for creating stuff on the fly with a keyboard, it's the 505 Mark II. So they are the same brain. They are the same kind of looper. They have the same brain in them. They're just basically tabletop or floor. Having said all that, for something, if I go, right, I'm going to an open mic night and I'm traveling on the train to Manchester, I ain't taken this. I've taken this looper and a microphone and I've done it all a cappella. Yes. But I still don't get that connection between playing a guitar and having that there, but then also having a pedal at the same time. So I much prefer having a pedal. No, I know where I am backwards on that. My RC600 course is, you know, over 55 videos deep now. I know it so well. So from that standpoint, it's a 600. But for doing this kind of stuff, the tabletop's nice because it's there. You know, I'm not pedal dancing and playing at the same time. I could do. But you get more granular control over the faders and also obviously doing stuff like this, you know, like you can't even press the button there, but you know what I mean. Oh, my camera's moving. I forgot to lock it. There we go. I like this camera. Watch. Whee! Where is he? Where's JP? Can't find him. Anyway, let's put it back to where it was. There we go. So having said all of that, I've done an entire show, and I mean 35 minutes with the other artists, obviously, but I've done an entire show with just Loopy Pro and a audio interface and a microphone. But the ones I use the most at the moment is the RC600 and the RC505 Mark II. If I was just going to a open mic night, I much prefer to take a 6-track looper. I probably use 4 tracks out of the 6 mainly. If I was pushed and went, right, I can only take a small looper, that's it. The Sheeran Looper Plus is a great option. The RC500 is a great option. I said before, I've done it, and literally when I did that Loopy Pro gig, it was my phone. It was a phone. It was a very small audio interface with the right connector into the phone. It was Lightning at the time. This is a phone, by the way. This is my iPhone. This is USB-C, so I can just go straight into an audio interface, which is much better. I'm really happy with that. But yeah, there's my answer. Of all the loopers you have, what's your favorite and which one do you use the most? I use the most the RC600. I have to say favorite, I lean towards this as I have the most fun with, because we make up crap every week. I make up songs on the fly every week, and stuff like that. But it's much. I'm really in awe of people like the people who do beatboxing with the Swiss Beat and the Loop Station Championships and things like that. I think that they're incredible. But from a singer-songwriter's point of view, I'll default back to like the 600. However, you just saw me there do one of my songs called Boss Castle. I never do it I play it on the piano. It came from playing Dadgan. Actually came from that thing. So I know that's a really elongated answer for your question. I hope I've sort of answered it. But if you just want pure fun, you want to explore and everything else, and you've got your hands free, if you haven't got your hands free, floor-based looper. If you speak to other people, they've got, you look at things like Carl Wachner's, like the Headrush Looper board is his mainstay. It's what makes him his money, and obviously going, playing with the Sheeran Looper X and stuff like that, which we haven't got yet. A crowd, just letting you know, but we are in talks. Don't worry, we will talk to them. Yes. So there we go. So there's my answer. At the moment, the Boss Loopers, 32-bit float. Loads of tracks, loads of customization, certainly with that one. I think there's more customization on the 600 because you can just put the buttons wherever you want, which is great. And yeah, if the RC600 had the Sheeran Looper buttons on them, which I'm sure someone will 3D print, then that's it. That's it. If the Sheeran Looper X had more functionality for customization like the 600 does, they're all going to become the same. The thing is, with all of them, they all have slightly different workflows, and that's a good thing because it means you have a choice. So you can either adopt a workflow or you can go integrate the looper into your workflow. I've always said, don't change what you do for a looper, but at the same time, I've created songs because of a looper, so it's totally dependent on what you need, or if you're going to be a loop artist, or you're just going to make it to just go. Right, so if you just needed to make a thud noise, that's it, Whereas if you wanted to create an entire ensemble, you need something obviously a bit more elaborate, is probably the word I'd use. Does that make sense? I hope it makes sense. If you're just joining us, then we are talking about basically favorite loopers. So depending on obviously what you want. But of course you can... Ooh, didn't know I could do that. There we go. Learn something new about this. You can obviously ask me anything you want. So ask me anything, obviously, about looping, about live streaming, about setup, about YouTube videos. As I said before, I don't actually make or edit my YouTube videos with a computer. I do it all on the iPad with an app called LumaFusion. So that is just amazing. Great answer. Thanks. You're more than welcome. It's no problem at all. There you go. Let's just take that park off. There we go. You know I'm John Paul Music UK. You don't need that there, do you? No. Right. So let's just do that. There we go. Cool. Oh, did I take the camera off the other one? There we go. If you've got other questions, obviously, about looping, of course, I do a live stream every week. We've got another live stream next week, next Tuesday, from 9 till 11 on UK time, which, of course, now is British summertime. It's technically summer here, at the glorious temperature of a height of 12 degrees today in the northwest of the UK. Excellent. I'm obviously in shorts. I actually am in shorts, but that's only because this warm is room. This warm is very room. Someone put in either fast or slow into the chat. We'll find something to play here. This actually got... Didn't know that. That's awesome. Oh, nice. Right, okay, so one thing you can do, I know I'm going to get back to that actual song, I'm not going to raise it this time, is I can tap tempo, and this is 94.2, so I'm just going to knock it to 94. Let's knock this onto 94, and let's see if we can actually get this. Yeah, I didn't think so. Oh well.
chat and I'll sing it. We are expecting 5 inches of snow tonight. Springtime in Wisconsin is around 2 degrees, but we are here. Yes, we're here. We are sailing round and round. I know that you are all watching. So put something in the chat for me to sing. Know that you are feeling it. But he makes it look so easy. It's all practice it takes, but it's not because I don't really know. I don't really know. All you gotta do is think of a word. All you gotta do quickly is think while it rhymes. I've got a word in my head and I'll teach you. It's not exact, but here all the time. It didn't rhyme, but we are all here. I'm gonna do some looping once you finish. You inspire us to carry on. Yes, I just looked at my watch 'cause it's time to go. Hello, Nine.
This is how we started. So, ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for joining us for our live stream. Oh, look at this! Oh, how very kind of you. Thank you so much. A super chat with 10 US. You remind me to keep it fun as well, JP. You're more than welcome, my friend. No problem at all. That's really, really kind of you. Obviously, if you have been enjoying the live stream, if you've got anything out of it, some advice, it's just some entertainment, give this a thumbs up. It really helps me. It helps the channel grow. It sends it out to more people. We are less than 200 people. I don't know what it just keeps going. Nice. We're less than 200 people away. I think it is from 25. Is it 25,000 now? It's crazy. New guitar or an RC505? Why have you got to choose, eh? In fact, Carrie, do you have a keyboard and an iPad? Because if you do, you can do this. So once again, thank you very much for joining us at this live stream. We've been here for 2 hours, and we're going to end the live stream here. But we're going to be back next week. I don't know why I'm shouting. I just turn these down. Such a professional. And obviously, we're going to be here next Tuesday at 9 p.m. UK time, British summertime. And of course, if you want to join us, please do. And then, have a bit of fun. Have a good week, everyone. We will see you next week.